This Organized Chaos video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Now we're going to look at some Glass Onion, and Ryan from Nothing But Media will be joining me for that one. So let me see if he's ready. But do you want to know something shocking?
Go on.
Did you know right-wing grifters have been triggered by a Rian Johnson movie?
I'm shocked.
I know.
I can't even imagine.
I know. This has never happened before. I
don't understand it.
But yeah, no. So yeah, I figured we could go. Ben Shapiro was like the first one who went after Glass Onion. Although his video just came out, he must have done like an article or something on it.
He tweeted about it first. I don't know if you saw any of those tweets.
No, I didn't see those tweets. But
yeah, he tweeted about it, I think, not long after it came out on Netflix, and the comments were not kind to him. He really took an L on that. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, the only thing I can think of is he already had this video recorded and was hoping to generate some publicity, because he really got roasted by practically everybody. And if that was me, then I wouldn't have then released a video reinforcing that. So,
well, probably a lot of his target audience is probably on board because, getting on the Rian Johnson hate. Because, why not? But you ready to watch Ben Shapiro's take on this? I'm sure his movie takes are perfect. They're never an issue. So, ready to dive in?
I am ready to go, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, folks. So, in case you missed it, over vacation, I critiqued Glass Onion, the new Knives Out mystery, on Twitter, and it blew up the world. People are very angry at me because I think it's a stupid, stupid movie. It is stupidly plotted, it is filled with stupid characters and stupid writing, and Rian Johnson's a stupid, stupid man. We'll get to all that in just a moment. First, this video is sponsored by our friends over at ExpressVPN. If you are making a movie about the world's greatest detective... Okay, let me explain how stupid this movie is. This movie is unbelievably stupid. Like, STOOPID stupid. The primary reason...
I mean, okay, so spoilers for the movie. So if you haven't seen Glass Onion, I do thoroughly recommend checking it out. I assume you've seen it, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I have. And, definitely, if you haven't seen it yet... I wouldn't watch the rest of this content because
we're almost certainly going to spoil it. That being said, I do want to rewatch it because like Knives Out is something I appreciate more for every rewatch. I've only seen Glass Onion once so far, but I'm sure there's more to the rewatch. Funnily
enough, I did prefer Glass Onion to Knives Out. I liked Knives Out. Mm. Yeah, but I didn't love it. There are a couple of things that I didn't really like about it. That sort of plot point about her being sick every time she lied.
That was a convenient thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little too goofy for me, especially as a first film. I feel like Glass Onion played it pretty more straight. With less of those types of gimmicks. And there were a couple of other things, but I still enjoyed it. But yeah, I think Glass Onion for me works better. It felt more cohesive for me personally. I also felt that the cast didn't really get a fair shake in Knives Out.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought... right now, I prefer Knives Out. That being said, like, I prefer Knives Out with each repeated watch. And Glass Onion, I've only seen once, so it's possible I'll do repeated watch of that and like it more and more. But kind of why I wanted to dive into it is because the fact is he's complaining about being stupid when that's actually one of the plot points, which is kind of awesome. And it's almost like Ben Shapiro is missing the point, probably purposely, just to get clicks on Rian Johnson. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
reason why this movie is stupid is because Benoit Blanc, who is played by Daniel Craig, is supposed to be the world's greatest detective.
Google said you are the world's greatest detective.
If you are making a movie about the world's greatest detective, presumably you need the world's greatest detective in order to solve a complex crime. This entire mystery is predicated on the idea that the crime in question is idiotic.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No!
Which completely robs the story of any meaning. It is poorly constructed, the characters make no sense, the motivations make no sense. And as we will see, Rian Johnson actually creates a series of get-out-of-jail-free cards for himself to escape the fact that his writing is terrible. But this movie makes no sense. So let's start with the premise of the film. The premise of the film is that Miles Braun is basically Elon Musk, right? He's played by Edward Norton, and he's Elon Musk. He runs space companies, and he runs a social media company, and a news company, and all the rest of this sort of stuff.
Founder of the ubiquitous tech giant Alpha, which now has dozens of companies from Alpha Cosmos, Alpha Car, Alpha...
Oh, yeah, you pause it whenever you want.
Right, okay, thanks. I didn't want to take away the power from you, but yeah. First off, his entire premise about Edward Norton's character, Miles, is incorrect. He's not Elon Musk. He's a composite character of several different successful rich people, and Elon Musk is one of those. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, yeah, no. I would definitely agree he's a composite. I do kind of feel like they lean into Elon Musk a bit with him. But yeah, he's definitely a composite. So I'd say I'm in the middle there.
I think the fact that he seems to be Elon Musk is more serendipitous than actually by design.
You might be right.
Based on the fact that Elon Musk has recently showed himself to be quite a big idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at actually the companies that Miles is involved in, he's got his own delivery service, which is obviously related to Jeff Bezos and Amazon. He's involved in tech, which is Musk, and also a little bit of Bill Gates and that sort of tech bro kind of idea. And there's several of those types. But also, if you look at one of the images that was shown there, the reference point for that was the Theranos thing. It's a direct, and Edward Norton's confirmed this, it's a direct copy of a picture of, I forget the woman's name, but the woman from Theranos.
That sounds familiar. What is that? That's really familiar.
It's the, I wish I could remember her name. Maybe somebody in chat can help out. But this woman set up a company that could apparently analyze your blood.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Elizabeth. Was it Elizabeth Theranos, or was Theranos the company name? I don't remember, but yes.
Theranos was the company name.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know too much about it because it was over and done with in the States before it even made a splash over here. So I only know about it from the dramas that have come out since about it. But yeah, the photograph of Miles holding up the napkin is a identical copy of a photo of her. So it certainly, because it's so prescient, feels like it's about Elon Musk to the casual viewer, but it's definitely a composite. And there's no way that Rian Johnson could have predicted that Musk would do so much great publicity for Glass Onion.
True, I didn't. You've kind of changed my mind on this. Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards, he's definitely Elon Musk, but now, he's definitely a composite. I mean, Elon Musk is definitely there, but I think,
hugely.
You've convinced me.
But Ben Shapiro's entire premise is that he is solely supposed to be Elon Musk. So see if he continues that further.
Hangers on, and all these hangers on, he's essentially paying them to be his friends.
They like to call themselves the Disruptors.
Miles Braun has called all of his friends to this island to do a murder mystery game.
Try to solve the murder mystery, if you can.
And Benoit Blanc has been accidentally invited in order to solve this murder mystery.
I've got the predefinite detective in the world at my murder mystery party. That is so legit.
And you sort of think that maybe Edward Norton actually will be murdered. Maybe that's what this is going to be about. No, that's wrong. The first 75 minutes of this movie are just a lie. Now, there's a difference between a red herring and a mystery, which is where you put a piece of evidence that seems to lead in one direction but actually is irrelevant.
Across the island, I've hidden clues. Some may be helpful, some...
So is he going to complain that, like, in a murder mystery, they mislead the audience? Because Rian Really?
Yeah, that was I think that was his first tweet on the subject.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that the way he says in this video, you think Edward Norton's maybe going to get murdered, but no, he isn't. That's not. And it's like, well, yeah, but if you think that and you're wrong, it doesn't make the film bad. It just means that you got it wrong.
No, I mean, part of the... Oh, go ahead and finish your point.
I was just... I thought, going in, I thought, well, it's set up so that, it's a fake murder mystery that turns into a real murder mystery, and Edward Norton's going to be the victim. And when he wasn't the victim, I was like, oh, fair enough. Because that's what happened. That's how you're supposed to watch murder mysteries.
Well, I mean...
You're not supposed to know what happens next.
Yeah, well, part of what a murder mystery will do is it'll give you lots of information. And the point is almost kind of put you in the mind of the investigator or whoever's supposed to solve the mystery, because they're looking for information like this. And some of it's bullshit and some of it's relevant. And it's up to you, kind of in through the eyes of the detective to figure out what it is, and that's usually how you present cases like this. So, yeah.
May misdirect. That's for you to determine.
There's a difference between that and what Rian Johnson does here, which is he just tells you a completely irrelevant piece of storytelling for 70 minutes. Completely irrelevant.
No, it's setting up the characters. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
It couldn't really be more clear that in virtually all murder mysteries, the first section of the film is setting up the characters. You see who these people are. Usually their public face, and then the rest of the mystery is unraveling how much of that is true, how much of it isn't. So to say all of that is irrelevant is not, because that's part of the mystery as well.
Yeah, no, it's his version of Agatha Christie stories. It's, here's a whole bunch of wonky characters, and then probably one of them's going to get killed, and it'll be a mystery. That's kind of what Rian Johnson does with these movies. And and part of it is setting up the characters, setting up, so-and-so has motivation to do this, so-and-so has motivation to do that, who actually did it. This is just like Murder Mystery 101 stuff that he's complaining about. Oh, how dare they set up characters.
When I say he lies to the audience, of course, all murder mysteries hide some aspects of the truth from the audience. But they don't outright lie to the audience about the subject of the mystery itself. For no...
They might.
They absolutely do.
Absolutely. It's not unheard of.
I mean, Agatha Christie did it.
Nope, go ahead.
Sorry, Agatha Christie did it several times. She wrote a few different mysteries. I'm not going to say which ones they are because I don't want to spoil it. But she wrote several mysteries where the narrator of the story was the murderer.
No, it won't be surprising at all.
From that perspective, literally everything they say is a lie. And literally everything they say cannot be trusted. Although some of it is true and can be trusted. And you don't know until the end. Because a trick Agatha Christie used to do, as far as I'm aware, is she wouldn't necessarily have worked out who the murderer is going to be until 2/3 of the way into writing it. And then if she saw that a certain character was obviously going to be the killer, she would make them not the killer. It's not something she did. It's not a hard and fast rule she did for every story, but one of her tricks was... all signs are pointing to this character, so I'm going to make it this character, and then write why. Literally lying to the reader.
Okay.
There are a few points of view that a movie can take. One is sort of the God's eye point of view, where you are seeing everything that is happening, and where the director has to have some sort of excuse not to give you a bit of information. So that would be, say, the sting. And certain crucial pieces of information, one conversation is withheld for the sake of the mystery. Then you have movies that are from a particular character point of view. So when the twist happens, it's because the character didn't know a thing that the character probably should have known. That'd be The Sixth Sense, where the entire movie is really from Bruce Willis's point of view, which is why he doesn't know that he's dead. If you haven't seen this. Anyway. Then you have movies like this, which are sort of God's eye point of view, but sort of not. They're from Blanc's point of view, but they're from Helen's point of view. But information is randomly withheld, including the entire plot of the film. Because as it turns out, the entire...
It's pretty much from Blanc's point of view, and even like when we see Helen's stuff, it's kind of like what Blanc knows about what Helen's done. And honestly, movies play with perspective quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that you can't have a story from more than one character's point of view is just wild.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I think it's virtually from Blanc's point of view. Okay, you don't see everything that Blanc sees. You see stuff that he doesn't see, which again is a convention of not just mysteries, but film.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're seeing what, or the camera is showing you his involvement in the mystery, I guess. And yeah, the fact that he switches, so what? I mean, has he seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
There was a film, I think it was called Vantage Point, that came out in the early 2000s, which after about 15 minutes restarted and showed you a different character's point of view, and it did this about 4 or 5 times. It wasn't a great film, but the idea that, I mean, all credit to Rian Johnson for the film, but there's not really any ideas within it that are 100% original.
No. This is Rian Johnson just doing his version of this type of story. This is not like I love Rian Johnson, but like this isn't. Yeah, giving a more modern twist to it.
Yeah, and it does give it an original spin, but the individual elements necessarily are not original. It's how they're put together.
The plot of the film is not murder mystery on the island. The entire plot of the film is about a character we did not even know existed for the first 70 minutes of the film. Miles Braun is in an ongoing lawsuit with Andy. She is the co-founder of the company.
Andy started Alpha with Miles 10 years ago, just the two of them. One legal move, he cut her out completely.
Right? He wins. She has evidence that she is the co-founder of the company. And this is the only piece of extraneous evidence ever. This sloppily written napkin with the idea for the company.
So based on the napkin idea, Andy and Miles created Alpha. It blows up. They bring everyone along for the ride.
She emails that to everybody. Miles Braun kills her because she's foolish enough to email him and everybody else a picture of this envelope that has the napkin that's supposed to decode the whole thing. The person who you think is Andy is dead, and it's Andy's twin.
Well, she probably assumed he wasn't going to murder her. Just gonna point that out. They were all friends. They're dumb and shallow people, but they were friends. So yeah.
Well, not just that, but I don't know about you personally, but I've never felt like there was a danger of anybody I've ever met murdering me.
Yeah, no, that's not something you assume was going to happen. Especially if somebody, like, I assume they were good friends at some point. I mean, there have been relationships in my life that have gone sour. I would never, like, kill them. I mean, Jesus, I would never...
Nor would you assume that they would want to kill you.
No.
I guess. But it's like, has this guy never watched Murder, She Wrote? I mean, if I saw Jessica Fletcher in real life, I'd get on a plane going somewhere. But the characters in that don't think they're going to get murdered. And Jessica Fletcher exclusively solves murders. So it's a weird thing to say that she would blackmail him and then not expect to get murdered.
Yeah, well, Ben Shapiro's really bad at movie reviews, and it really does feel like he's just going for whatever he can here. Let's see.
Quinn, who's been investigating all of this. And Benoit Blanc has been invited in order to solve this murder mystery.
Andy didn't commit suicide.
You want to hire me to go to that island?
Assume for a second that the cops come upon this without any sort of murder mystery at the island or any of this. The cops come upon Andy's body. And what they do is they perform an autopsy, right? Because she's a suicide, supposedly. And what they find in her system is that she took a heavy dose of sleeping pills and then gassed herself. The first thing they would do is assume, wait, we have a problem here. Why would somebody take a heavy dose of sleeping pills and then gas themselves?
She sends that email. Nobody writes back anything. And then the next day, she's dead in the garage with sleeping pills in her system?
The next...
I mean, people do that all the time.
Yeah. It's...
I really don't know how you can say that that's a flaw, because people will take pills and then gas themselves.
Yeah.
That is a common way of committing suicide, because you fall asleep before you actually asphyxiate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, if you're gonna, I mean, that really is a misplaced nitpick for.
Well, he's just going for whatever he can. He just.
Yeah, so I guess maybe I'll skip the next few, but that's just such a weird point to make.
Yeah.
Next thing that they would do is they would check her email. Correct? They'd go to all her family members and would find out what is her email password.
I mean, if they have access to it, it may not be the easiest thing to access, but okay, whatever.
So I went on her computer and I looked in her email.
They would find that she sent an email to everyone saying, look what I found, this red envelope. They would then go and interview all of the people, and everyone would have an alibi except for Miles. And then they would uncover this.
Well, the envelope by itself is nothing. Like...
No, that was the point. It's not proof.
Yeah.
They would all know what it meant.
The cops wouldn't, yeah.
With basic procedural police work within about 24 hours of this. This does not require any sort of sophisticated detective in order to debunk any of this. It's idiotic. There's a giant plot hole right at the beginning of the film. The entire film begins with all of these various characters receiving the puzzle box. Inside is an invite.
And then I just hear a knock at the door, and it's some courier with this thing from Miles Braun.
Well, Andy receives a puzzle box. Why? Why? Miles killed her.
I mean,
I would assume
a puzzle box.
Yeah,
why would he send a puzzle box to somebody he's just killed? Maybe he was trying to fabricate some sort of alibi by pretending that he thought she was still alive, like everybody else thinks, until they're on the island.
Yeah. I mean, if she just gets a random puzzle box and it indicates that he wouldn't know. That actually makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, there is a point there that why would he send her a puzzle box even if he hadn't murdered her? Mm-hmm. Why would he invite her to begin with? But, as is explained later on in the film, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
This is his idea of crafting an alibi.
Yeah.
By saying, it couldn't have been me. I thought she was still alive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Why is she receiving a puzzle box?
But he still invited her to this weekend? Question isn't why did he invite her? It's why did she show up?
Why would he invite her? He's been in a giant, well-publicized lawsuit with her. But none of this makes any sense whatsoever. It is a giant...
Well, I think the obvious story would be, I'm doing it to make amends. That'd be the public story, obviously. It doesn't seem like that far-fetched to me.
No, especially if, like we said, he had killed her, and he was trying to create an alibi.
Mm-hmm.
No, because the guests find it a bit odd that she's been invited, but they find it stranger that she has actually come along, like he just said in that very scene. But clearly, he didn't invite her because he didn't think she'd show up because he thought he'd killed her.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gesture.
Yes. Mm.
Giant fail. It is just lazy, lazy, lazy writing. Rian Johnson was too lazy to even create characters who had independent motivations to kill Andy in the first place. Miles is the only person who has an actual incentive to kill her. Everybody else has a second.
Okay, so he established his motivations for Miles because it's assumed Miles is going to be the victim through most of the movie. It's not revealed that Andy is the victim of the movie until that 70-minute point that he's talking about. How did he miss this? This is like a huge part of the fucking movie. Then.
Plus, I'm pretty sure that they do cover that. I mean, they don't cover it in great depth.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, even if we want to go, okay, there's no motivation to kill Andy, she sent that email to all of them. They all knew what that email was. Number one, Miles would be the one most threatened, but they all perjured themselves for Miles. So this falls apart fairly quickly for Ben here. This is not a good argument.
Well, yeah, it's established that they all rely on Miles for everything they have.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they are sort of taking you towards the idea that it's Dave Bautista's character that is the murderer, working on behalf of Miles, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
They all have something to lose. They all have a reason for wanting to kill her and for wanting to kill Miles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I really don't know.
We're looking at the brilliant film analysis of Ben Shapiro.
Secondary incentive to kill her to protect Miles. But why would they do that? Wouldn't every single character in the film be better off exposing Miles for what he is? We'll get to more on one of the worst films.
Money. Miles has a lot of money, and they all leech off of him. Jesus Christ, Ben.
I mean, if you want to look at it in real world terms, how is it that people with money and power manage to get away with committing crimes for so long without getting caught? And why is it that those people are never caught by being turned in by somebody who was close to them? I mean, this is take it one step away from the murder. This stuff happens all the time. Rich people get arrested for something, and the people who are possibly incentivized to turn them in are never the ones that turn them in.
Yeah.
ExpressVPN.com/BenYT to get started. The secondary plot device here is that they're all being paid by Miles to cover for the fact that he has created a substance called Clear.
I call it Clear with a K.
This Clear is a magical energy source that apparently is so highly flammable that a little bit of fire will blow out an entire giant glass onion of a building.
I'm not sure he watched this film.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Because they explain in the film.
Yeah, the whole place was made of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole air conditioning system, the whole heating system is fueled by that stuff. That's what makes it blow up. So, yeah, I don't think he was paying close enough attention, which, if you're going to trash a movie, is a big mistake.
You have a politician, right, who's played in this movie by Catherine Hahn. And her entire thing is that she's been paid off by Miles in order to essentially greenlight Clear.
You signed off on the power plant.
Yep. When this thing breaks, poof. My whole base is gone. The grassroots lefties, gone.
How is that going to work out for her as a politician? Literally the first time somebody lights their stove.
Yeah, she was not happy about it, Ben. That was one of the plot points. That was her motivation for killing him, actually, that they introduce. Now, she isn't the murderer, but that's one of the motivations they introduce. That's, oh my God, Ben.
I mean, that scene that we just saw is after he explains to her how the fuel isn't safe. Up to that point, she thinks, or as far as I can remember, I'm pretty sure that she thinks it's a safe fuel, and he tells her, no, it's definitely not safe, and it's not going to be safe anytime soon. So that's her discovering that, and discovering how deep she is in it. Plus, you would think that Ben Shapiro would know that sometimes politicians do the wrong thing for the wrong reasons.
No, I don't think he knows that. Don't tell that to him. You'll break his heart.
I mean, he obviously associates Miles with Elon Musk, but what he seems to have not noticed there is that Elon Musk decided to pursue the right-wing ideology, even though his customer base is largely made up of left-wing people.
Yeah, he's largely alienated those people too, because it used to be essentially it was the liberal thing to drive around in a Tesla, and yeah, he's alienated a huge part of his customer base because like conservatives don't like electric cars, so yeah, he's killing Tesla.
Why would Elon Musk's come out as right-wing if it affected the customers for his car? That's just bad writing of the Elon Musk.
He must be an idiot, right?
Boom, an entire city block goes up. Does that go well for her? Right, Birdie is supposedly going to protect Miles because she wrote an email suggesting that she was complicit in a sweatshop. Wouldn't she be better off blaming Miles for that? She's a second-rate celebrity.
He said if I take full responsibility for the sweatshops, he'll pay me the value of my shares.
Yes. If she takes full responsibility, he will give her money. We're not dealing with deep people, Ben. We're not.
And also, the point they're making in that film is that she is the only one who's a bigger idiot than Miles.
Yeah.
Wouldn't she be better off saying, I was misled into this by Miles? Duke, he needs Miles to give him a show on his network. But why does he need Miles to give him a show on the network? If he exposes Miles, he's the single biggest podcast host in America overnight.
I was wondering.
But Miles has more money and influence.
And would it make him the biggest?
Yeah, I don't think it would, because even if he exposed him, like, does he have hard evidence to expose him with? Because otherwise it would just be like him shouting at him. It would just become a shouting match.
Well, I'm just thinking as well of other famous whistleblowers.
Yeah.
And, they're famous for a moment, but I mean, did Woodward and Bernstein become the most famous and well-paid, presumably, reporters overnight? Did and this is telling, the guy that Russell Crowe plays in The Informant, I don't even know his name, and he blew the whistle on the cigarette companies. And,
I don't remember his name either, but yeah.
Well, I think that proves the point that maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan didn't become the
he was not famous
by
whistleblower.
exposing anybody.
Yeah.
And why my googs are blowing up. The views on my channel are off the charts. You got to see this.
Lionel Toussaint.
Okay, so Ben, when he was saying that, if you watch the movie, he was lying. He was getting his attention to show him what was actually blowing up his phone. Did you watch the movie, Ben? I'm asking now.
Who's the 2 Miles? He has all the inside data. He knows Miles is a moron. So why exactly doesn't he expose that and just become a super famous and rich person?
I know. But what can I do?
You can tell him no.
And then the ending, of course, makes no sense at all. Plus, it completely undermines Helen's character. She, like an idiot, pulls out the napkin, and Miles burns it, the only smart movies made during the entire movie. For some reason, she just goes on like a random crystal smashing spree, and I was waiting for that to be a plot point, and it just wasn't. And then she burns up the Mona Lisa. And this is supposed to get Miles in trouble.
Your fuel of the future just barbecued. The world's most famous painting, you dumbass.
So not the killing of 2 humans, not the murder of Duke, and not the murder of Andy. The burning of the Mona Lisa is what's supposed to get him in trouble.
Well, no, he wanted... Jesus Christ, Ben. Oh my God. He wanted his name to be forever remembered with the Mona Lisa, and now it is for destroying it.
No, yeah, and the whole point is he won't be remembered for the 2 murders.
No, he probably won't be.
That he committed the 2 murders. That's why she went on that rampage, and the reason she smashes everything up is a distraction from what she's actually planning to do, which is to blow up his glass onion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's his...
Because if she'd just gone over to the drinks cart, set it on fire, and then thrown the fuel in, he maybe would have had time to stop her. But the distraction is her smashing everything and everybody else joining in.
Yeah.
Except the person who burned the Mona Lisa was Helen. Helen burned the Mona Lisa. This makes her the worst person in the world.
Well, Miles was the one that had it and put it in that situation, though, dude.
Yeah, explicitly against the instructions of the people he lent the painting off.
I mean, it was even set up... it was set up in a security thing, and he even set up so he could override that shit. Like, if it wasn't for Miles, she couldn't have touched the Mona Lisa. Oh, God damn it, Ben.
The world. So, Rian Johnson actually creates a series of get-out-of-jail-free cards for himself to escape the fact that his writing is terrible. Number 1 is the journal.
You know, she kept a journal. every day of her life since she was 6 years old.
Andy has been keeping, day by day, a magic journal, the magic journal that has all the details of her life, so much so that Helen can play Andy and it will be indistinguishable. You will never know for the first 75 minutes of the film that it is, in fact, not Andy.
Well, the audience isn't familiar with Andy, and her friends are shallow idiots. And she actually stays away from them quite a bit, I assume, for the subterfuge. She keeps her distance from them.
And within the film itself, I think it's Catherine Hahn's character who spots that there's something slightly off about it.
Yes, that's right. She does notice that, yeah. So it's not like they aren't noticing, but like she's keeping her distance from them. Yeah, this is explained in the movie, Ben.
Question. Why would that journal not include details of how the company was founded?
It might, but that's not evidence of anything, Ben. She could write anything in the journal. What are you...
She could have written the journal after the court case.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking hell, Ben.
That was the basis of the entire lawsuit. Why could she not bring her journal, written contemporaneously with the founding of the company, and show her notes, showing exactly how the founding of the company went down?
Okay, well, we already debunked that one, so...
Yeah,
Jesus,
it's almost
Ben.
as if courts don't accept diaries as alibis.
Yeah.
They don't go to court and say, well, I couldn't have committed this murder because if you check my diary, I was somewhere else.
Yeah, duh. Yeah, look at this. Oh, God damn it.
Oops. Journal was supposed to be get out of jail free card number 1. Then we have the second get out of jail free card, which is the identical twin card. Once you have an identical twin, you can basically do pretty much anything. Now, this is not like The Prestige. Okay, the entire point of view of The Prestige is that if you are watching closely, you can determine that there are twins in the film because there are clues dropped everywhere along the way. You don't even know there's a twin for the first 75 minutes of the film, so how are you supposed to pick up clues that there is a twin? It's very strange. Okay, finally, the biggest...
Well, I don't think you're supposed to know there's a twin. It's something that's revealed later. Like, from the audience perspective, there's no way you would know.
Even in The Prestige, you're not supposed to know there's a twin. If you work out there's a twin, which you can do, but most people probably wouldn't, if you know that there's a twin, it kind of ruins the twist where they say that the trick is that they're twins.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the fact that there is a twin also doesn't make any difference at all to that element of the plot. Because, in terms of spoiling it, because you're not supposed to know.
Yeah.
That's the twist. The twist is that, and there is a clue that it isn't really Andy. In the opening scene where she receives the puzzle box and smashes it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Like, the twist isn't even necessarily that there's a twin. The twist is, like, You're watching 70 minutes of this movie and you're waiting for the murder. You're waiting for the crime to get started. And the twist is that the crime happened, like, before the movie even started. And we've been on a mystery this whole time. That's it.
Biggest one of all is that the murderer is an idiot. Now, the giveaway here is that Blanc actually just says that out loud. Right? Blanc actually just says at the very end that Miles is a moron.
The key to this entire case... Miles Braun is an idiot.
So this answers all the questions, right? This answers why he sent because he's stupid. He sent her a puzzle box because he's a dum-dum. Why didn't he burn the stupid napkin in the first place?
Because he's an idiot.
Right? Once you say that the main...
Yes, he's overconfident and yeah.
main murderer is an idiot, this allows you to do anything except make an interesting film. Because if the main murderer is an idiot and the entire plot is stupid, then why do you need the world's greatest detective to uncode the world's stupidest murderer?
Well, did he miss the part where Blanc explains that, like, he's not good at dumb stuff? Like, the one of the great things in Turfit was when I actually pointed this out to me. He's playing Among Us at the beginning of the movie, and he's not getting it. Yeah. He's not good at it. It's because he's not good at simple mysteries. He talks about how he's not good at Clue, because he's not good at simple mysteries. And that's why Braun is able to get, like, stay ahead of him in this actual mystery for so long. Because it's like, he's so dumb. Like, if he played it, like, it's Helen that kind of treats it more like Clue, and that's how come she's able to kind of get closer to it, and that's part of the movie. Oh boy! And I just read what's coming up.
The fact that he's an idiot doesn't mean that everything in the movie is stupid. It means everything he does is not well thought out.
Yes.
And he doesn't burn the napkin because it doesn't even occur to him to burn the napkin. It's one of those egotistical things where people do keep evidence on themselves that they should destroy.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
Al Capone was taken down by bookkeeping anomalies.
I mean, serial killers famously will keep trophies of shit. This is, it's not logical, and it's an emotional thing. It's, not human beings don't run on pure logic.
In fact, the first official episode of Columbo, the one directed by Steven Spielberg.
Ooh, I didn't know who did that.
Yes, he directed the first broadcast episode. Not that there were 2 pilots beforehand, but he directed the first broadcast episode. The villain in that is caught by Columbo because he's an idiot.
You still there?
So yeah, this is still here. This is not new ground.
No.
But yeah,
let's see what the politics of this movie are, because I'm sure Ben, Jesus Christ, Ben.
The only way the politics of this movie works is if you live in Rian Johnson's political thought bubble, in which all incentive structures are lined up in favor of the right and against the left. Right? Where if you're a left wing,
aren't they? It sounds about right, Ben. How come big prominent left wing YouTubers have they might have 1 million, but a lot of them have 100,000, but there's numerous right wing YouTubers that have over 1 million. Well, why is that, Ben? Okay, let's see the details he goes into.
And you bring down the most powerful person on earth. If you were to bring down Elon Musk tomorrow, you wouldn't be famous and rich. You would just have your life ruined.
You would lie for a lie, but you won't lie for the truth.
That is a lie. That is the stupidest nonsense in the entire world. The reality is that if somebody did what Miles is supposed to have done, right? Launched a rocket company, launched a news company, done all the things that Elon Musk has actually done, that person would have to be, almost by definition, relatively bright. If you read this as...
Okay, so this is his cope thing. Oh, Elon Musk is actually smart. Why are they making him out like he's dumb?
Yeah, this is the fallacy that all rich people are smart, which is something that we got over in the UK many years ago when we saw the blithering idiots that were the landed gentry.
Well, I mean,
as it turns out, not being a complete moron is useful.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a super genius to be super rich.
No. Well, yeah, literally, okay, you want to break it down to Elon Musk. Look at what Elon Musk is doing. We already talked about how he just kind of, all the people who bought Tesla as a company is now suffering because of this shit Elon Musk has done recently.
Well, yeah, he's lost more money than any human being in the history of the world in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound like the smart thing to do.
Yeah, it's why would he do that, Ben? Why? Well...
But then that's the story that these people are going to tell themselves. Ben Shapiro makes a lot of money. He must be a genius.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's watch this cope.
As a direct analog to Musk, you have to create some sort of story where Elon Musk is not actually the smart person. There was actually some unnamed intersectional woman who was the very smart person, then was chiseled out of her. She was, by the way, brilliant enough to found the company, too stupid to actually encode in her contract anything that protects her in case of a breakup over the future of the company. So, yeah, just really, really well done stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like, people will trust their friends and, sometimes get backstabbed by them.
Well, yeah, I'll bring up Al Capone again. I mean, he made a lot of money. He must have been a genius to do what he did. And yet they caught him. And all the people that have been caught doing something wrong... Well, here's a point to this. If everybody who has ever achieved success and wealth is a genius, how do you explain all those people that have also lost all their wealth? Because there are plenty of rich people who have lost their fortunes.
Yeah.
Surely, if they were geniuses, they wouldn't have lost their fortunes. Surely they would have put something in their contract that would have stopped them from you.
I'm not allowed to lose my fortune.
I'm a hard light on climate change. If that scares you, go stick your head back in the sand.
The politics doesn't make sense. The movie doesn't make sense. It's filled with plot holes. Rian Johnson made an entire film about how a stupid person masquerading as a smart person nearly gets away with it because he is stupid and rich. I'm just going to note here that Netflix apparently has paid Rian Johnson $100 million. They paid him like $100 million for the Knives Out series of mysteries, which means that Rian Johnson is an incredibly rich person pretending to be...
Did they pay? Like, I doubt they just paid him that. I guess it's possible, but then I bet you it's a multi-movie deal then or something. Okay. Nah.
As far as I'm aware, it's at least a 2-picture deal that they paid a total of, I think, $450 million for, that also includes the original Knives Out. I don't know the exact benefits of it, but if his argument here is that by Rian Johnson's definition, because he's rich, he's an idiot, then by Ben Shapiro's definition, because Rian Johnson's rich, he must be a genius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Therefore, the movie cannot be stupid because it was written by a genius because he's rich.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
Actually writes really stupid mysteries. Now, I know a lot of you enjoyed it. I know a lot of people love the movie. It's not my fault you're wrong. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry that you're wrong. And if all of Twitter says that I am wrong, I don't care because that's Twitter. Well, whatever, man. I would just say that I'm signally amused by the fact that of all the things that I have tweeted and said in the past year, the most controversial is that I think this movie is ridiculous and terrible. Because Rian Johnson is a member of the political left, they have made Rian Johnson into the Jordan Peele of Darren Aronofsky's. He is now a director you're not allowed to criticize because he has the proper...
What? I'm still trying to figure out what the Jordan Peele of Darren Aronofsky... Is he just saying, like, good directors? And hoping it means something?
Possibly left-wing directors, socially
maybe
conscious directors. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's his point, but I think the greater point is that the reason he got dunked on Twitter is because he's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And by his definition,
go ahead.
Sorry, by his definition, he's an idiot because Rian Johnson is richer than him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It remains a complete piece of trash. And by the way, this is coming from somebody who didn't even mind the first Knives Out. I thought the first Knives Out was at least somewhat clever. This one is just dumb. Alrighty, that's enough of that. Catch you here next time.
Alright, so I was going to watch Critical Drinker one next. I know you watched it on Pop Counterculture stream. Did you want to watch it again, or do you want to duck out?
I'm quite happy to watch it again. Because,
okay.
I watched it as a third party, so I didn't really... get the chance to delve into his idiocy.
Mm-hmm.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.